Hey folks, again, we're at the Woolery, and today we are definitely going to discuss one thing that I really like as punch needle. And we're going to explain this from the beginning to the end. Punch needle for embroidery floss only. Okay, we're not talking about using Oxford, we're talking about punch needle. So what I mean by DMC, as you can see here, beautiful colors, floss. We also have wonderful Valdani, which I love, and we have some examples here, possibly going into how to finish them. But the main thing is really what tools you need, how to get it on the hoop, how to begin, how to cut your thread, how to do everything from the very beginning to the end. Okay, so I hope this is going to help people begin this new craft. Thanks. So just to reiterate again, when you do punch needle embroidery, you need weaver's cloth. I know that sounds contradictory because it says weaver's, but weaver's cloth, once again, is very tight. You can't see through it. It's for the needles to go through it and be able to keep the actual thread in it. Okay, so weaver's cloth is a must. Really, that's about all you can use. So on this kit, which is one I'm going to demonstrate today, once again, it's Navajo paint. This was the horse. I've done a little bit on it, but I really want to show people how tight it needs to be on the actual hoop itself. Okay, so this is the actual one. So when you receive a kit, you're going to have it either drawn on the weaver's cloth, okay? And this is very important that when you're working on punch needle, you need to see this line. You need to see it. You can't do it upside down, okay? So it needs to be this way. So what I aim for is trying to find a hoop big enough to put it on without the design falling off the center. So if you can see here, I have one of the large hoops, okay? So you can see the design does not fit on this small hoop. So in this case, I'm going to use the back side of it and put it over here. This one is very close, okay, in terms of barely hanging over. If you feel you don't want to do this, and you can sew a piece of material here and here, which would just enlarge it. But your design is what is actually going to be centered over the hoop. So when I do this on our hoops, these are actually, the Morgan frames are wonderful. They have a ridge here, and they have an inset groove here. These will interlock, and that's what actually keeps your material extremely tight. That's what you need. So once again, when you put this on here, make sure that your design is facing you, not flipped over. All right. One important feature I didn't mention on the Morgan frame, it has a carriage bolt right here. It has a square part. If this does not seat properly, that's not in. It needs to be completely rounded and flush. That's what keeps that bolt from turning around. A carriage bolt has that inset in there. So that's very important. Make sure it's in there. Make sure your hoop is going to fit over it, and then we're going to tighten it down. Okay, so this doesn't come out all the way. It's just enlarged just enough to be able to put it on there. And I'm going to try to do this as gently as I can. And I might need to open it. And we're going to seat it a little bit more. I'm trying to get it centered as I do this, okay? And keep it, I'm going to pull it tighter as I go. All right, so I'm going down. Yep, that's pretty good, down. I'm going to take my wing nut and just tighten it a little bit like this. And before I do the whole tightening, I'm trying to make it taut, trying to take out the wrinkles. I'm pulling it down all the way around, trying to get the bubbles out. The part that doesn't have hardly anything hanging out here on the sides, like I said, is going to be the hardest. Okay, so if you feel the need. Now, a lot of people don't have finger strength, which it is hard because you're touching this part right here. We actually have this tool called a Mighty Winder. At first I didn't get it, and then I finally just said, no, I need this, because the slot here on the tube actually slides over this, and it connects to the wing nut, and you're able to crank it out here. So you can see this section right here actually is closing in much easier than if I was trying to do this with my fingers. The case is And that's really tight. Now, you don't want to keep taking it off. Just leave it there until you're finished, if you feel the need to do it. But I guarantee you, once you tighten it with this, you're going to need this to untighten it, because it's going to be really, really taut. Okay, so this is pretty, you know, it's centered and it's tight. All right, so now we're going to discuss the needle real quick, and then we're going to discuss how to thread the needle, and then do a little bit of punching for you.